pull the wool over so many people's eyes. You can fool many, but you can't fool one, and I'm one of those ones. I'll humor people and play along for a while, but I'm not really fooled. Am I married? Nope. That's one foolery trick right there. We need you to do my job, either reproduce or adopt. We need you to do my agenda. So anyway, point being, the electricity went out on that whole entire block, and then some, because even the building across the way, their electricity went out. So it was like a massive, from, say this is 4th or 3rd, all the way over to 5th or 4th, and then from Arch down to potentially Race. That whole massive quadrant, electricity went out. I wound up like freaked out, extra scared. They also had the fire department come on another night because some alarm went off erroneously in the complex, and the fire department had to come out. So there's always something. You're doing overnights for someone and things start happening all over the place. So that's the dealio there. I wound up calling my sister because once again I was scared SHITLESS. There were like 3 or 4 times where people put on a really big scare, and I was like, do people make a living out of scaring people and setting them up to be scared? In addition, at that location, they would ask me to do overnights for a stretch of time, and I told them in advance that 2 nights a week I was taking classes, and I actually traveled to New York on very little money, but I'd be coming back really late, like midnight. So on 2 nights a week while they were away, I wouldn't be able to like feed them dinner. Like I could get there and sleep overnight, but it would be like midnight before I got there, and I'd be walking them like midday, and then I wouldn't be there again until midnight. And they agreed. They're like, okay, no problem, we'll have our friend come in to do at least the dinner walk, and they'll be okay until you get here late at night. It's only twice a week. So we all agreed. What I noticed as the week wound down, there were a million cords all over the place because of the way they set up their apartment. And I noticed like a few chewed on cords, and I was like, I'm not sure what to do because they won't stop chewing. Like I could put bitter apple on. I can't remember if I texted or not. I might have texted to say they just keep chewing, but I was so busy and overwhelmed with work and running all over the place. And I was like, well, they know they chew on cords, you know, I don't know what to do about it. I'm not here as like a major dog trainer. Anyway, they return, and I get an email saying, you know, like completely, it's totally crazy, completely blaming me for the dogs chewing the cords. And it's like, I didn't know what to do. You know, I thought we kind of, you know, I said I wouldn't be there for 2 nights a week until like midnight and so forth and so on. They made me feel guilty about this. It's their responsibility to handle their dogs correctly, or to say, sometimes they chew on the cords and please do this if you notice it. They didn't say all that, but see how they switched the responsibility and blamed the victim? They set me up for about 5 things and then blamed me. Rob Florg and Rashid Sayel. I had to report them to the CIA. And I wanted to like them because they came across as okay. And I know Rob had a Dodge Charger, Challenger, or similar, because they had to meet me on the street to give me a payment once before they did this debacle. Before they would pull off these shenanigans, I'm walking around feeling really hurt. Like I take, you know, I know this sounds crazy, you know, dog walking seems like, but I ran my own business per se, independently, just myself. And I took pride in taking care of people's pets and communicating as much as possible, you know, what was going, you know, whatever was happening. Machinery, Swanger Brothers, blokes, and lots of work here. So anyway, I just wanted to put it out there that I had to walk around, and my brain had to wrap itself around the fact that 2 grown men, supposedly, you know, liberal-ish, supposedly, were willing to make me feel like I was a really bad person for their agenda. But I felt badly. I'm like, I honestly didn't know what to do. I kind of gave up at one point because so many things went on at their home. It's like, get somebody else to take care of your dogs. I want to see what happens, but they probably wouldn't have been picked on. I was the target. So anyway, Real World, MTV, Philadelphia, back in like 2002, 3, 4, I forget how many years ago that was. That's that building. People put me technically in a fake world, except I have real feelings and I was actually attacked. That's part of the type of gang stalking. That's just one layer of a million layers of what I experienced. Starbucks found a home across the street from Real World. Isn't that neat? So anyway, I just had to put that out there. And I'm running low on battery. We're down to like 30% now. Walked all the way down here from downtown Center City all the way east to whatever this is, 4th Street. I forget if it's 4th or 5th. And then some to Bread Street and 3rd. I think this is 4th. 4th has been on the SHIT list for a while. North 4th Street had a situation where I felt like someone stabbed my back right calf. It was reminiscent of a time when I felt like my shins were slashed when I was standing in my old apartment above Dirty Frank's in Pineview Apartments. And I was like looking around like, where did that come from? Because it actually could seem like a ghost slashing my body. I'm like, what is it? Do people have a device, or are people able to do stuff like it's like Kick the Can with Ghost, that movie Ghost with Demi Moore and whoever else was in the movie. Whoopi Goldberg was in the movie. And anyway, in that movie there's a guy who's a ghost who's walking around. He keeps trying to kick the can. It's metaphorical and symbolic. Kick the can, it means someone just wants to die and pass over. Kick the can. He kicked the can. So there's a guy on the subway system of whatever, I guess it was New York City or somewhere in California. I forget where the movie was based out of. And he desperately wanted to kick the can. And he couldn't kick the can. So unless it was the idea of someone, you know, a ghost though being able to haunt people. But someone brought to my attention, kick the can means just because, you know, just finally pass over. And he was so frustrated he couldn't kick the can. So anyway, I wonder what people are capable of and why they would do that. Now, it used to be at Pearl Properties, the Pineview where I was staying before, and now I'm in a Pearl Properties again. I saw one of these. Light the night. So I saw one of those the other day and I was wondering what was going on. It's for the lemonade stand, leukemia, and so forth and so on. So this is all Old City and all their old cobblestone streets and everything. But just putting some stuff out there. You know, every day something goes off. Some days are more active than others and more frustrating and more gang stalker-ish than others. These days it's technically a lot quieter.